13, according to our count. We are still dealing with the students of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, his 5 students who were all great sages in their own right. And previously we had discussed that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had a praise for each one, defining a specific quality about them. And now the Mishnah tells us, Malahem, he said to them, Su'u, go out and see, literally see, but doesn't mean physically seeing, but it means check it out. Ezo hiderech yishora sheyidbak ba'ha'adam. What is the straight or proper path that a person should cleave to? And then each one of them gave a specific answer, and we'll just go through them quickly. We're not going to do them all today. Rabbi Eliezer said, Ayin Tova, a good eye. Rabbi Hoshua Omer, Chover Tov, a good friend. Rabbi Yosei Omer, Shochein Tov, a good neighbor. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Haroa Es Hanolad, someone who sees what's going to happen. Not doesn't mean the future in terms of astrology and all that. It means someone who's able to see the outcome of if you do certain things, there's going to be consequences or results. And Rabbi Elazar Omer Leiv Tov. Rabbi Elazar says a good heart. So let's just go back and understand what was the question in the first place. The question was, he wanted them to go and explore what is the thing that you king on this one thing is going to make a big difference for everybody. That again, it doesn't mean to literally to see. It means think in terms of your mind, as the Tosfos Yom Tov, go out with your intellect, think about it, and figure out what is it that is going to be the character trait or aspect that is going to make the difference. If you highlight that one thing, then that's going to be a key for everything else you do. So right, the Pharisee Yisrael, for example, says that when it says "su'u," go out, he means that go, and just doesn't mean just to go out in the marketplace, which to some degree it does, but in a sense it's leave where you are. You are, first of all, you're in the base medrash. These were sages; they're studying all the time, so you got to get out in the world and see. But also, you're on such a high level that may be easy for you to conduct yourself in a certain way. How is somebody who's not as great as you? What should they do? Let's talk to the rest of the world. We're not all on that level. So he says it's easy for you guys to have all of this, but I want you to see what is it for the general public that people should work on so they can become like you. The Maharal, for example, says that he didn't want to just tell it to them. He wanted them to find out for themselves that they should explore, because if you find out on your own, it's going to have more meaning. He was using a little bit of pedagogy in terms of how to teach. He was saying, "Listen, I'm not going to lecture you about it. I want you to do some exploring." The idea also of yidbak, to attach itself, is that it should be part of you. This is not something just, what's a nice thing to do, but you have to make it a part of you, to attach it. The word yidbak, to cling, also is the same word as devek, which is like glue. It attaches things together. So when it comes to character traits and behavioral things, it has to become ingrained. It has to be part of you. It's not enough to be able to turn it on when oh yeah, okay, now I should be a nice person, or now I should be a generous person, right? It has to come from the inside, that this is it becomes part of your nature. Rabbeinu Yonah is an interesting idea that he asked them each to find out the one thing, right? And he says that the idea of finding one midah is perfect one thing. We can't all be perfect in everything. So you could be a jack of all trades, where you're sort of, I forgot the exact expression, but you're able to do everything, but you're a master of nothing, right? So there's nothing that you're outstanding about, but you can do a lot of things, which is a good quality. But he says, in terms of midos, pick one thing, excel at it, perfect it, and from there, the others will also be able to develop. If you are able to perfect one thing, then you'll be able to work on the others and build them up as well. But if you never perfect anything, then you're always going to be not you're going to be subpar in everything. Um, there's another in terms of the question that is asked, is he said, which is the derech yishara, the straight path, or that you should cling to? We actually had a similar question earlier because in the first Mishnah in this chapter, Rebbe said, Ezehu derech yishara sheyavor lo ha'adam. What is the straight path that a person should choose? So it would seem that and Rebbe actually came later. He was historically later. So how come this Mishnah is now? Um, so Rebbe was actually referring to how do you figure out which one you want to perfect. So Rebbe over there says choose. Here it says attach to, and that the idea being that first you have to decide what is it that you want to do. Which is the one you're going to pick. Once you know which one to pick, then you're going to work on that one. And how do you make it happen? So in Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai is saying, let's pick one. And Rebbe was saying, okay, now that you've picked one, how do you make it happen? The way you make it happen, if you remember, was the middle ground, right? Don't go to extremes. If you go to extremes, then we get in trouble. Rabbi Lau actually says here that Rebbe was talking about an earlier stage in life, that when you're trying to figure out what to do, you have to choose your mission in a sense. What is it? What fits your personality? Pick the best thing that's going to fit. There's many different things we could do that are good and important, and many different aspects of Torah life that are important, but some fit you better. And find the one that fits your personality. And as Rebbe had said before, the way to choose, he said, was based on what's honorable and what's going to gain people's respect. And once you choose that goal, then you figure out what the best way to achieve it. The first one of the different choices was from Rabbi Eliezer. He said, a good eye. So what is a good eye? A good eye means to be, according to Rambam, is satisfied with what you have. And others say the same idea. Sameach bechelko, Rabbeinu Yonah. Be happy with what you have. If you're happy with what you have, then you're happy. You're not looking at other things in a negative manner, and don't be jealous of what someone else has. Another angle here, which is brought down by Tiferes Yisrael, is that he looks at each answer. He's going to go through each of the 5 answers and connect it to that person's character trait that Rabbi Yochanan had given each person a special thing. So the one for Rabbi Eliezer was that he was a cistern that was sealed and that nothing leaked. I remember that his memory was able to remember everything, and he had the super wide breadth of knowledge. So he says over here, when he says a good eye, he says a person who is satisfied with what he has, and also Ayin Tov is also to be generous, and you're rejoicing in what other people are doing, and you're not jealous. So if you're not jealous of other people, and you also, he says, a person who has a good eye doesn't get upset, doesn't get angry at other people, and doesn't worry about other things because you're happy with what you have. If you have all of those characters and you're not worried, you're not getting angry, and you're not being jealous, those are things, each of those things are things that impair your memory. A person who is getting angry has difficulty remembering things. A person who's worrying has difficulty remembering things. Same thing being jealous. So therefore, he says, have an ayin tova. This is Rabbi Eliezer's idea. An ayin tova is things, if you have an ayin tova, that helps your memory. And therefore, you will be like that cemented cistern. You'll be that one that doesn't lose a drop because your memory will be intact. And again, backing the general idea there is that a person who has an ayin tova is going to be someone who is not jealous of others. A person is going to be satisfied with what they have, and they're also going to be generous. And those character traits, according to Rabbi Eliezer, are going to be so overriding that it's going to lead you to be able to have good character traits in everything else that you do. And we'll hold it here for today. Have a great day, everyone.